Hello, my name is Mary Casey Stirk, and I wrote an article about the Harriet Beecher Stowe house. This beautiful house behind me was lovingly restored over the last several years, and it was brought back to how it looked in the 1840s when the Beecher family lived here. There's a little bit more to the story, though. 100 years later, this same house was used as a boarding house and tavern and was listed in the Green Book.
During the Jim Crow era, African Americans could not stay in hotels, or they had to be segregated in public transportation. They often would run into cities and communities called sundown towns, and Norwood, a nearby community to Cincinnati, was just one of those towns where if you were a Black person, you didn't want to be caught in that town or there would be trouble. So therefore, it was interesting that there was a place called the Edgemont Inn and other places in Cincinnati where a Black person could stay if they were traveling. The Green Book was written by Victor and Alma Green, and the great thing about this book is it saved a person a lot of embarrassment, because if you went to a place and you didn't know whether it was segregated or not, even if you were in a northern city like Cincinnati, that could lead to problems for you and your family.
In this century, America has become a nation on wheels. We ride on wheels to work, to shop, to play, to go about any place we want to go.
You know, the reality is that during this time, Black people who wanted to buy a home couldn't get a mortgage. They could afford it, but the banks would not finance them to get a house. But they sure could get a car. And with that car, it provided a certain level of freedom, especially when it came to travel, that they never had before. I remember my dad had a Ford, and Ford is mentioned in the Green Book. But I remember when it was time to get gasoline, Dad would always say, "Okay, kids, we're looking for an Esso. We're looking for a gas station called Esso." So we would see all kinds of gas stations. Oh, there's one. Nope, can't go there. He never told us he couldn't go to the other gas station because he might face discrimination and mistreatment. They just told us that Dad's car only took Esso gas. So parents, like my parents, they never talked to us about discrimination or segregation or why we had to eat here or why we had to get gas from gas stations like Esso, because I don't think they wanted us to see that side of the world. Green Book, it's so important that we know there were books like these, because by knowing that there was a need for this tells you the mindset of where we were as a country at that time. And what makes this house so important, whether it was the Edgemont Inn or Harriet Beecher Stowe house, it's what this house represents. In a way, Harriet Beecher Stowe house is like a lighthouse. It's a place of safety and calm in a world full of turmoil.
In writing this article, I was humbled by the stories I learned about the house. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to visit the house and learn the amazing stories that I learned on this journey.